Hey there guys, so been a while since I did a video, almost 1 week or more. So very quickly, work, illness, quite a serious illness. I actually got a pretty bad fever last night, and I only realised 10 minutes ago I actually got a fever on Saturday night. So yeah, reference to a Bee Gees song there, which I'm quite happy about. So yeah, got a pretty serious illness, and yeah, that's about it. But today I was I'm sort of moping around the fucking house, still recovering. So I thought, oh, you know what, I'll do some footage recording, actually like try and get another video out. If you can't tell, I'm still kind of got to sound a bit hoarse from my cough. So today we're going to be taking a look at the Spitfire LMG light machine gun. Now, I absolutely love this gun. It is awesome. But you've got to give it time, and it'll all make sense in the actual video. So like we've done with most other guns, we're going to take a look at what I'm actually running with here. So I, like most of my other guns, I prefer the HCOG sight. I've used the AOG sight, but I find due to the recoil, it's very hard to control, you know, all that kind of stuff. So I go with the HCOG sight, but then again, I did find the iron sight's quite easy to work with as well. So, you know, so whatever sight works for you, like I always say. Now, as for the mods, you haven't got much choice. You've either got an extended magazine, which increases it from 80 rounds to 96 rounds, or you've got the slammer, which increases damage. So it's entirely up to you. So for those people who like to stay invisible on the map by using suppressors, go and find another gun. You know, this gun is not for you. There is no suppressor attachment. This gun is all about dishing out a lot of damage and having a big magazine to do it in. So that's what I run with. I run with the HCOG and slammer, and then if you really feel like it, you can put the quick reload kit on. I'm using carry extra pilot ordnance due to a challenge I need to have done to like prestige or generation up, whatever you wanna kind of say. But yeah, that's generally about it for what I'm running with. It's not one of the best or longest intro sequences. There's quite a bit to talk about with this gun, mainly concerned the recoil, the ammunition, the damage. Even going to take a look into the amped version of the gun, which I don't believe I've done with the other two I did. So yeah, without further ado, let's start the video. Okay, so very quickly, if you can't understand me because my voice is so hoarse, I do apologise, but I believe I'm losing my voice once again. So yeah, life's a bitch, huh? So yeah, like we did with the R101C carbine, we're going to take a look at some of the stats which I pulled from the internet. So we'll start with the rounds, how many rounds per minute, and it's got a 540 rounds per minute fire rate. Now generally that's quite a slow one, but it does make up for it in damage. So you've got to be careful when going into one-on-ones because of the fire rate. Even though you're dishing out quite a bit of damage, you know, if that guy's accurate with his carbine or one of the SMGs, you know, he's going to tear you apart, and you see that happen to me later in the video. But yeah, that's the one of the only downfalls of it, as well as the recoil, but we'll come on to that. Now it's got an 80 round clip, like I mentioned in the little intro bit about how I use the gun, or it's got a 96 round with the extended mags. Now when you do some rodeo, when you rodeo in the Titans, it does 200 damage. Now if you go onto the Titanfall wiki, there is the all the damage charts for all the Titans, so you know, generally you can take a look at that and see how they all compare up, but it'll be quite difficult to sort of talk about that in this video, which I did try doing in a few other times because it's like my 5th recording of the damn thing, and I found it very, very difficult to do. So yeah, this thing just destroys Titans, any type of Titan, especially if you've got the amped version. You know, just jump on, because remember, you ignore the shields, you know, just go straight through, especially Strider, you're going to tear that thing apart. The reload time, you've got a 2.8 second reload when your clip's like half empty, or you've got almost a 3.5 second reload when your clip is completely gone. So you want to keep that in mind. You get a 200% critical hit damage multiplier, so that is really, really good, as I'm pretty sure the damage is, yeah, it is, it's 70 to 45 damage depending on your range where you hit them. So yeah, obviously the critical hits, that's going for the critical hits on the Titans, the parts you see when they're all highlighted in red. I recommend, very quick recommendation, is running either stim or prosthetic loaded fist, because it is a heavy gun and it does tend to slow you down quite a bit. So if you're kind of one of the agile players that I play, like I said a few times, you know, maybe add something to kind of balance that all out with the best thing to do. That's how I found it easier to do. And as for the amped version of this gun, I couldn't find any stats, but from what I can tell from it, is it's got a higher rate of fire, and the recoil is much, much lower, and it makes people explode. So that's, you know, that's always a bonus, making people explode. You know, why not? So yeah, if you ever if you get the chance to use an AMP version of this, use it because it's very good. Obviously you don't get the sight you prefer and all that, but whatever. So let's actually let's actually move on to what we're seeing in the video here. Now I'm running here with the sledgehammer. I'm using my favourite sight, which is the HCOG sight. Now I find with the HCOG sight it makes the recoil seem a lot less bad. So that's what I run with, but then, you know, like I always say, run with what you like. You pay for the game, you play the fucking thing how you want to, you know. So in regards to the recoil, let it calm down. Whatever you do, don't stutter, don't burst fire this thing, otherwise you're going to get nowhere with it. It acts like the Hyperion guns from Borderlands 2. For those who didn't play Borderlands 2, it starts off with a high recoil and then it calms down after the first few rounds. So that kind of brings me on to my next point. Short to medium range only, I find this works. You know, occasionally you might be able to pull off some kind of long range shot, but I only recommend trying to do so if you can see their entire body, they're not looking at you, and you know, you're certain you can hit them, because otherwise the recoil is just going to carry all over the place. You're going to end up missing your shots and giving away your position, which no one really wants. So short to medium range, especially if you start coming up behind people, they're not going to have a chance to turn around unless you're shooting it. It's just piss poor. So yeah, just the main thing on this gun is the recoil. You know, unlike the Hemlock VFR where we sort of had to let it calm down by stopping firing, this one you got to let it calm down by continuously firing. So maybe I think after the first 10 rounds, this gun, it generally does, it kind of stops and you get a nice continuous stream of fire, which is really good. Because with this gun, sort of bringing me on to my next point actually, you can kill a lot of people with one magazine in this gun. You know, only when you start getting to like 20 rounds would I start to bother, you know, reloading. It's the best thing, because this gun, it's got a lot of rounds in it. It's got a very high damage rate. You know, it's probably one of the only primary weapons I would consider jumping onto the back of a time with and actually staying on the back rather than just firing a few rounds and getting off. But that's how I play how you want. It's one of my main things I will say to people. So yeah, like I said, recoil, just watch out for that. Now generally, as to moving on with the extended mags and the sledgehammer, it's, like I said in the little intro video, entirely up to you. If you want the extra damage, you know, I would recommend doing that. Or if you want the extra 16 rounds, it's up to you. But it's got an 80 round magazine anyway, and if, you know, you can't kill a few people with 80 rounds, then, you know, so try and work on your shooting a little bit. But, you know, it's whatever works for you. But yeah, I have a lot of fun using this gun, and I still use it a little bit. And here's this bit where I get completely owned in close quarters, as you just saw. So always watch out if you go into close quarters. You know, at least make sure you've got the gun shoved right in their face before you start firing. Otherwise, the recoil's just going to carry you all over the place. So yeah, like I said, I had fun using this gun. I'm still using it now, and it's a good gun. You know, as long as you learn how to use it. Because when I first started using it, I couldn't use it for shit. I was terrible with it. You know, the recoil, it really caught me by surprise, actually, like how difficult it was, because I was used to controlling the recoil from the first shot rather than letting the gun calm down. You know, so when it is recoiling, don't be afraid to actually nick the analog stick or move the mouse, I suppose, when you're playing PC. You know, don't be afraid to do something like that, because, you know, everything helps. But like I said in my last video, use it to your advantage. Maybe instead of aiming for their head, aim center mass and let the recoil carry you up. You know, make the recoil work to your advantage. Another thing I like to say in my videos. But that's generally all about I can say for the Spitfire LMG. So if you want to go and use it, just go and use it. You know, don't sit here listening to me talk about it. Actually go and use it and see how you like it, because it is, like I said, it's a good gun, and it's actually quite fun to use. I had a lot of fun using it, and like I said, still use it. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this video, and stay tuned for some more Titanfall videos coming out soon.